All right, so I think we're live. I know we have um, Magic Lasso's already here. I knew he was going to jump on right away. But hey, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm very happy to have Rod here with us. He has his YouTube channel, which does very well. He's always holding live videos, very popular. You're going like this, but you always have a ton of people watching. They love you. I'm very happy to have him on here today. And like I said, Magic Lasso is always here. And I know he watches you a lot too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's very supportive, man. He's on everyone's chat.
It's
everywhere, man.
Like I said, we've had what up, Comic Jabroni. There's always a great group of people. That community has been great. I can't complain. Like I said, I was telling Rod, I started my channel 4 months ago. I've been blessed to have a lot of friends on here that have subscribed or I'm up to like 725, which is fantastic. I enjoy doing the videos. Like I said, I'm still new at it. I'm trying to catch up to Rod here. We'll see how long it takes. Yeah, I feel like it's a lot of work, but I enjoy it. But
yeah, for sure, man. If you're not having fun doing it, then this is not the place for you, man. You gotta have fun doing it.
I enjoy it, and I was telling Rod, the only thing I don't enjoy as much is the editing. Like when I just do a video and I edit it, it takes forever. I hear feedback from someone's mic. I think that is that you, Rod?
I don't know, but I just moved my mic to the side, so hopefully that will
work. We'll make it work. Magic Lasso. It was a fire alarm drill again. I was telling Rod that it's I feel like it's such a I love doing the live. It's been so much fun. I feel like it's and you can tell me if you agree with me, Rod. It's a great way to interact with the community a little bit better than when you post a video and you kind of just you reply to the comments. But I feel like this way you really get to communicate with everybody right away. But I mean, how'd you get into the whole YouTube thing? I mean, what got you into YouTube?
Well, YouTube, it's kind of weird because you need comics. I wanted comics and then started YouTube. So it all started back in, maybe we want to talk about the edit videos and all that. I mean, we could talk about that. We could talk about how I got into all this stuff. It's crazy, dude. But it was, I told a lot of people this already. Back in 2016, I wanted to get back into comics. I just haven't found a way to get into it. So unfortunately, our house was broken into. So to clear my mind, I told my wife, I said, well, my big buddy that I work with, he's a big comic fan. So I told her, I said, yeah, I got to clear my mind. I need to get back into comics. I said, fine, let's go to the shop. So then I told my wife, I said, what's my spending limit? I'm thinking comics back in the day when I was first collecting, a buck out of 25, a buck 50. She tells me, oh, just take just 150. I ain't gonna drop $150 in comics. Sure enough, I dropped about 300 or 400 that day.
Oh wow!
It was crazy, man. I found a bunch of dollar comics, found some Flash comics, and then I figured I was posting a lot of pictures on Instagram. And then I said, man, why I see a lot of people doing YouTube. So then I told my buddy, Danny, and I said, man, I'm gonna make a channel. And he starts laughing, right? And I said, I'm just gonna call it just Rican and his comics.
Yeah.
And so I remember one Sunday, you could go back, watch it, guys. The first video ever dropped, it was hot doodle water, as Edwin would say. I just held my phone, I just put the books down there, and it lasted probably like maybe a minute or two. And next thing you know, just a Rican comics is born, man. So that's how it happened.
And little by little, you started to improve your. I guess it's like I feel like with all YouTubers, right? You start to buy different things to start broadcasting a little better, to get your audio better, to get your video better. Your setup is different, right? Like I feel like a lot of people start out, like you said, I did the same thing. You start out by recording with the phone down at the books, and then you gradually start to record yourself,
Yeah.
and then you start to kind of get, decide what you want in the background behind you for everything. So like I said, it's really cool to hear how, especially how you have been doing your YouTube, since you've been doing it for quite a while now and successfully so.
Thank you, sir.
Comics. So everybody, so the reason why we have Rod here today is because I want to talk to him about his personal keys, and I want to talk to him about what got him into collecting. What was the first time that he was like, you know what, I want to start collecting. I like comics, I like this, but what got you into collecting? So let's start there. What really got you into collecting books?
Well, I mean, I have 3 older brothers. 2 of them were big comic book fans. So I'm back then I was probably 12, 13 years old. And of course, it's like anything. You see what your brothers are doing, you want to get into it too. And it just took off from there. I remember Mom giving us $5, and she would say $2.50 for you, $2.50 for you. And me and my brother, my friends, we would back then, my friends, we would walk up a street in Philadelphia. It was called 5th Street. So if you guys know 5th Street, you know what I'm talking about. So we used to walk up 5th Street, and it was just all stores. And then at the very end, when there were no more stores, there was like a little alleyway, and you go down these steps, and there was a comic book shop there called Fat Jack's. So we had our quarters. We would play video games in there, and I would buy Amazing Spider-Man, one of my first comics, and I forget what issues they were. But that's how I got started, man. If it wasn't for my brother, I mean, comics would never been around in my life,
Right.
And so my friend Danny, of course, and I was just like, thanks, Danny, he got me back into comics.
Right.
Actually, I got him back into comics during that time too. He was like,
really?
Yeah, we were just hanging out, and I see him buying stuff, and now it's like, yo, we're going to the LCS. Where we going, man? What day we're gonna go? So it's a chain reaction. So
right. That's pretty cool. Like I said, I always like to hear how people get started, because, like I said, it's always, I feel like there's always some sort of there's a reason. It's not like all of a sudden you said to yourself, yeah, I'm gonna collect to collect. There's no such thing as, I feel like there's always a reason in your life of why you started, whether it's when you were younger and there's a connection with your siblings, or a reminder of something you did with one of your parents, or whatever the case might be. And I always find that very interesting. I myself have been, and I mentioned it when I was with TK and Mo, that I started very, very late. And a lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people think that I've been doing this for a very long time, and the matter of fact is, it's been since I think like October of last year. I've always had an interest, but I never get into collecting and the buying until later on, where I had, it was, for me, it's like, oh, I have a game room now, so I have a game room, I can buy stuff, I can put it in, I enjoy the art for a lot of books. And, I mean, when you buy stuff, are you buying because of the storyline? Are you because of the writers, of the artists? Are you buying strictly off the art? What makes you collect what?
Well, is I hear it bad echo now, but we'll push forward. Of course, it's got to be. It's always with the pictures too. At the same time, that's how, as a kid, I mean, I would buy the comic books for the art, especially the Spider-Man. And I would come home, as stupid as I was, take a piece of paper over it and try to trace over it. That's how stupid I was. So I mean, how many? I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have done that. But
Yeah, yeah.
now as I'm older, it's like I want to pick up a book that has some great writing in it, and I remember getting back into comics. Um, Besides the Flash comic books and the Fantastic Fours that I bought, I came across Ultimate Spider-Man, and that was my introduction to Bendis and some of the artwork from Bagley. So I had to say those two guys really pretty much like opened my eyes. I'm like, holy crap, this is some good story, some good writing, some nice artwork, and those were the first two guys I remember. I mean, I can't remember half the stuff when I was a kid, but man, when I picked up those books, man, I was like, damn, my friend Danny came downstairs. We worked together, and he was like, "What are you reading?" I was like, "Dude, you read this?" He goes, "Yeah, man, that's old, man. I got that stuff." So I was like, I just could not put them down, man. I got a nice little stack of them. I'm still missing a bunch of issues, but whatever I found, I read it like, I mean, it was just nice, fun, fun reading. It was smooth, nothing wrong with it. So yeah, man, stuff like that.
Awesome. Now, is there a specific series or or character that I feel like there's always like a series or a character where you will always read, you will always buy, you've read it since the beginning. Is there, what is it for you?
Well, right now I have to say, I mean, I've been doing this whole Joshua Williamson run on Flash, and I'm liking it a lot. But
Awesome.
right now, man, Daredevil is the place to be. Holy coconuts, man! Chip Zdarsky. I mean, I get a lot of heat when I mention Daredevil. I'm waiting for someone to say something. He's not saying anything right now because he kind of thinks Daredevil. But yeah, man, those are like some of the runs that I'm reading right now. Flash, Daredevil, Detective Comics, Batman. Right there, that's been a great run right there too. That's just a little bit of the stuff. But then, of course, I go out there and I always buy like a bunch of indie books.
Yeah.
I try to buy like some of the first issues. That's, if I like it, then I maybe pick up the second or the third. I'm pretty sure you're the same way too. So
yeah. Now, I'm going to ask you this because I know a certain book just came out. Are you a big Walking Dead fan?
I started to watch it, and I've watched maybe the first 4 seasons of it, and I enjoyed it. I have no complaints. I think it was like they were stretching it a lot. And then that the new one came out. What was it? Fear the Walking Dead or something like that?
Yep, Fear the Walking Dead.
And then that one turned out to be a lot better than The Walking Dead, as The Walking Dead was like towards, to the very end, that show dropped, and I was enjoying that one more. But I think I know where you're going with this.
Well, there's Negan Lives, which came out. Is that a book that you picked up on your on New Comic Book Day last week?
I did. I did. It's in my bag. It's right here in my work bag, and I have not read it yet because you guys know Rod is always behind on his reading, man. What else?
I will say I picked it up. I was excited. I did read it. I'm not gonna give anybody any spoilers. But I personally liked it. So I'd be interested to see what you think. Let me know what you think when you read it, Rod. Because like I said, I liked it. I really do. I am a Walking Dead fan, so I really did enjoy it. Before we continue, let me get see here. We got Magic Lasso. See the slap behind? That's X-Men 131, part of that. So you have. How can you see that? Is that right behind you? Yeah, I think I see it now. Yeah, Magic Lasso has been wanting me to get these. I've actually talked to my shop about it, so hopefully I'll be getting the whole Dark Phoenix saga. And then we have here Cameron Hamilton. Ultimate Spider-Man was my beginning to collection as a kid. Nice. Always good. Let me see here. Geeky Guy Comics, thank you for the love. I'm just taking a little break to read here, Rod, because I'm horrible with the comments. I tend to get so fixated on who I'm talking to that I ignore everybody. So I apologize if I've ignored you in the past, guys.
You're doing good, man. There it is.
Behind on his reading, no way. See, I'm there with you, Rod. Though. I got piles of books that I'm like I buy every week, and I'm like, oh, I haven't even read them yet. I got to get to them, you know.
Well,
But
see, the thing is like, all right. So I pre-order a lot of books. Mostly, if I was to go out there and to the LCS and buy books every Wednesday, I'll probably drop like over $200.
a
Or
week.
well, maybe 100. Well, the what's that one guy who buys everything? Jabroni. What's that? The comic book villain buys everything. You know, I would be like him. I would buy all the books that would drop on a new comic book day, just because
Really?
I just it's bad. I just started. So that's why I pre-ordered and I cut back and I was like, all right, let me just make sure I get the books I really want.
Yep.
So then when Edwin and Perry and John we were doing Fire Pass, which Fire Pass is still there, man. It's not going nowhere. You know, these guys would mention certain books that I would be like, I'm not gonna buy it. But then again, it sounds interesting. So next thing you know, that's when I was sitting at the LCS on Wednesdays because we're talking about the books. I want to go get it now. So then I would drop another 40, 50 bucks on a Wednesday. So you could do the math right now. So I get a nice little discount when I pre-order, but then I still go out there and I support the LCS shops. And you know, and that's I kind of balance it out because my wife she'll have my head, man.
I hear you. See, my problem on New Comic Book Day is I go in with a plan. My plan's always get like maybe 5, 6 books,
Okay.
right? The moment I get there, I look at the wall, and I'm like, oh, that's out, that's out, that's out. And
Yep.
that time I leave, I walk out. I think every time I walk out my shop, I walk out with no less than 24 to 25 books. So it's hard not to when you're there, you know. That's why I feel like it's almost better if I like were to order them online. That way I wouldn't go into the shop. That way I don't get tempted because if I'm there, I'm gonna buy something, you know.
Yeah.
Having that said, let's get into one of my favorite subjects, which is what are your personal keys? You know, what are the books? Now, when I say keys, I was telling TK and Mo about this. You know, when I say keys, your personal keys, they don't have to be like the $15,000 book. It has to be, you know, there's something that a book that as a key to you for a personal reason, you know? What are those keys to you, Rod?
When you told me that, I was scrolling through the boxes right there, and actually, I'm gonna turn this light on. And a lot of the stuff, actually, this is gonna be bad, some bad lighting. But a lot of the books that I have behind me, this is like all my keys. All right. Besides the two that I have in my hand right now, these got some stories.
Nice.
Actually, I should start off with Punisher, issue number 1. I don't know if you can see it. Actually, let's change things up here just a little bit. That should be a lot better.
Nice, nice.
With that glare, though. That was an A-OK from Edwin. That was my second slab that I ever got.
Awesome.
And that's like one of my keys that I mean that's to me it's considered a key. This Marvel Team Up 9.4. This was an A-OK from Steve Whiting because he knows I've been trying to get the whole run of Marvel Team Ups. So he found me like a whole stack. We met up one time at the LCS, and he said, "Oh yeah, here's his slab. I don't care too much for it." So he just gives it to me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Another great example of the how great the community is.
And then actually this one here. Oops. See there. You guys know I'm a big baseball fan. I'm a Phillies fan, diehard Phillies fan. And this is my only Golden Age comic I have in my collection.
Oh, wow.
This is from Robert G. Spot Godwin. So he hooked me up with this, and I almost had a heart attack when I opened it.
That's a cool book.
Yeah. So this is actually issue number 3 at 10 center, dude, all day, man.
That's awesome.
I know you got some stuff, but let me 2 stories real quick, man. I told this story
Yes.
before. The day I met Jim Lee. Oh man, this one breaks my heart to this day. I gave him 3 comic books. It was the Saturday before the Eagles won the Super Bowl, and I go there. I go, "How you doing, Mr. Lee?" "Doing well, sir. How you doing?" I'm like, "Thanks for everything." "Oh man, thank you for buying the books, this, and that." So I give X-Men Annual 14. I
Awesome.
gave him the Harley Quinn 25th anniversary, and there was another comic book I gave him. Forget which one it was. So he signs the first one, fine, puts it to the side, and then he signs the next one, but he puts that book on top of this one when it was wet.
Oh no.
Yeah, and he just looks at me like this, and then he looks at my wife with the picture, and I was just like,
No.
I was devastated. Just like I said, "Thank you, sir," and I walked away. I was like, "Go Eagles!" I like "Go Eagles" or something. The video is on my YouTube. Maybe I should just download it.
Oh jeez.
Dude, it was. I was so devastated. I'm walking out like this. I'm like, smear Jim Lee, and you can probably see it. You can see it right there.
Oh yeah, you can.
And then when you go to the other comic book in the back, you can see the rest of the game.
Can you
So-
really?
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
He didn't like give you a free book or something after he noticed.
No, he once he did it, he realized it. He paused and looked dead at me like, "Oh shit, I know what I just did." And he just looked at my wife and said, he just smiled and just my wife took a picture or something.
He looked straight at you because he wanted to see if you noticed.
I did. I was just like,
He was gonna play it cool, pretend like nothing happened.
oh.
That
Yeah.
is
Well, I try to play cool, but it was devastating. But
it's a memory.
it is. I
You know?
wanted to give that book away on a giveaway. My wife said, "You can't." It has a cool story to it. We were there, We woke up early in the morning to get to that line, and I was like, "You're right, babe." So yeah, that book is never going out to the community.
Yeah, that is a crazy story. I will say. I mean, I can if that happened to me, I can only imagine my face too. I don't know what I would. I don't know if I'd say something. I'd be like, my books.
Yeah, but it gets better. The day I met Donnie Cates. I've said this story before. Oh, there's Perry.
Sorry, laughing at you.
Yeah, that's what my homies do, man. All right, so the day I met Donnie Cates was when Venom dropped. I'm excited. I get to the con. This was maybe 2-3 years ago when this book dropped. And there's no line for Donnie Cates. There was probably like 4 people. So I'm like the second one up there. My wife got the phone. She's recording already. I'm like, "Mr. Cates, thank you for everything for what you've been doing for the comic, this and that." And he's like, "No, thank you, man. Thanks, bro." And he's signing, and then he just like pauses. He's got his head down the whole time. He goes, "Are you recording?" And I go, "Yes." My wife is like, "Yes." And he puts his head up, looks dead at the camera. He just goes, "Next time, give me a heads up." I was like, "Okay, sir." And I like walked away fast. I like ran. My wife was like, "What?" Yo, so
hey,
see Donnie Cates, let him know you're recording.
Yeah, don't start recording or wear one of those cameras where you can't tell you're wearing a camera. That is funny. That is crazy.
Yeah, man. But there's so many books here, man. You guys, the Daredevil books, these are like the keys in my collection. These are like my prized possessions, man. I mean, you guys tired of looking at these things. Issue 1 and 2. Issue 1 is missing the back page, but Bub's Comics, he said he could fix this for me. So I just gotta send it out to him. I'm just slacking, Sal, just like I do with my reading, man.
Hey, it happens. You're a busy man. You're always on YouTube. No time to read. You gotta start. I think what you gotta do is you just start reading on your YouTube channel. That way you catch up on your reading and you let other people listen to you read.
But then I'll be stuttering. I stutter a lot when I read. So then they're gonna be laughing. They're gonna be calling me the stuttering Rican or something. I don't even call that, man.
That's funny. Oh man, those you got some good stories. I know that Jabroni over here said he's never heard the other story
Yeah,
before.
yeah,
I
man.
think we're all gonna start wondering what other stories you haven't told us.
Uh,
Let
there's
me ask.
certain stories. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go
Okay.
ahead.
No, go ahead. What? There's
No,
certain
no.
stories. What?
I don't have any more stories.
I don't have any more stories. Let me ask you this: what book in the past have you bought that it might have been that you were willing to pay a little bit more than you thought that you'd be willing to pay, but you had to have that book? Which one would it be?
A book that I really wanted and I had to pay a little bit more. Um, there is a book. It was an Amazing Spider-Man. It was, oh God, I can see the picture. It's the one where it's a recent book. It has just his face on the cover. I forget what issue it is. Oh,
Um,
and it was like you couldn't find it. So I went on eBay. I think I dropped like $15 for it, and my friends were like, my other friends, they were like, "Oh man, why you drop 15 for that? You could probably find that for cheaper." And I was like, "Well, I really want to speculate on it." And I was like, "Well, man," and I got I just fell for the trap. I don't even know how much the thing is worth
I always think it's funny how, and it's always different with everybody, right? There's always books that you shouldn't pay that much for them, but it's like it's happened to me where you're like you get nervous. You're like, is that book gonna get sold? Am I gonna be able to find another one? Is this the last one? Should I pay for it? And all of a sudden you're buying this book for way more, and it always happens to me too, where I look on eBay like the day after, and it's like 80% cheaper, and I'm like,
now.
what happened?
Well, I mean,
Always.
you can go out there and buy yarn, man.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people buy yarn, man. So, oh
Yeah.
man, there it is.
So multiple times. I thought he was joking.
I've said it, man. I've said the story at least 4 or 5 times. You asked the question, you're gonna get the story. So
It's a good story. I enjoyed that story.
I'm not gonna mention the story again if Edwin is in the house because he'll say I heard it for the 12th time.
Now, what would you say? Now, did you, as far as your, like obviously your wife is supportive of your hobby.
Finally,
Obviously. Does she partake in it, or is it just on a supportive role?
in the very beginning when she thought it was cute. Oh, you got a little short box. How many comics you got there? And now I got like, God knows how many short box, maybe 12, 15 now. And the one time we went to Walmart, I said, I need to get a second monitor because I seen Perry with a second monitor. And then I was doing the shout out show and I take my notes and I was writing in a pad. I didn't want to keep doing my head and doing this half the time,
Right.
disrespecting the audience. So I said, well, let me get a second monitor and I could just turn my head and just do this a little better than this. And she goes, well, how much is the monitor? I says, it's only $80. She goes, you're not making any money off YouTube yet. I was like, well, babe, I gotta step up my game. So now, finally, I've made a few bucks on YouTube. I guess a bunch of people in the community they agree with me, and if you reach that mark, you will be able to make some bucks here and there. And I told her, I said, don't give me crap, man. I said, you told me when I make a few bucks, that I'm able to invest more and do things. And
Right.
she shakes her head and be like, whatever, Ron, babe, or whatever.
You got to spend money to make money.
That's it, man.
That's the excuse, right? That whether it's true or not, you just got to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's and like you said, you've had success, which has been fantastic. You've put out lot of great content. You've been great with the community, especially with the newcomers. You know, you've really helped out the new guys that are trying to build up their channels and are struggling. You know, I mean, you helped me out when I started my channel 4 months ago. You sent me a shout out, and my channel grew. I mean, I think because of you, I couldn't even tell you how many people I got right away, but it was ridiculous. So
Wow.
I appreciate that. So thank you for that. And
yeah, man, you're welcome, sir. I mean, it's just I like doing it, and like I said off camera, there's days that I'm beat, and I don't want to do it. But next thing you know, I'll have someone sends me a message on Instagram, "Are you gonna do the show?" And I'm just like, I'm not gonna reply back. I get more messages, and it's like, fine. That's like in sports, like in basketball, you have the sixth man. You come off the bench, you get that little spark. And I look at the messages as the sixth man to give me the energy just to do a Sunday show when I really don't want to do it, to be honest, guys. I'm
right.
like pretty tired.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, today, last night I was helping my wife with my mother-in-law. I ain't getting no sleep last night. Besides not getting no sleep, and the house was about 88 degrees because they're older, so they don't want to turn the AC on. And I was so miserable last night. And I got to work today, and then we were texting back and forth. He was asking about thumbnails, and
yeah.
I'm like, I said, I didn't even talk to anyone at work. I'm so tired, but I was just like, I got home, took a shower. It's like, gotta hang out with Sal, man. I said, I gotta do it. There's nothing. I have to do it. There's no excuse,
Well,
everybody wants to hang out on my channel. I said, no, I got to hang out on his channel, man.
Well, I appreciate you coming by. I definitely do. Even if you're tired, you're getting the second wind. You're getting your second wind.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we have aggressively relaxed and says, I just picked up Squirrel Girl, first appearance, $25 because I know that book is going to get ridiculous the next few years. I'm not familiar with Squirrel Girl. Are you?
No, but I've heard a lot of people talk about Squirrel Girl.
I gotta look into that.
Actually,
look into that.
Now that we're talking about books, I did help out John Comics with Kids. He was trying to get money to fly out here to MegaCon, which never happened. But I bought a nice little stack of comics, and I made a good purchase. Ultimate Fallout, the second print.
Yep.
And this is going high on eBay, right?
Those books are getting hot. I was mentioning to TK and Mo that I got the Ultimate Fallout 4 first print, and I got lucky because I won it from the AdCon, one of the AdCon giveaways. And at that point, that book was still, it was a good book, but it wasn't where it is right now. I just picked up a second one. So now I have one. So I'm happy about that because that book is just going off the rails now.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's funny reading Aggressive Relaxing's comments right here. It reminds me of what book was it like? Right before the this whole COVID thing hit, there was that, or during, it was that what was that book? That DC book that was like all the hype.
Was it the one with the Joker or something?
Yeah.
He's dead like in the middle of the cover.
I'm blanking out.
I can see it, and everyone was like going out there buying it.
Hella Rising.
It was the Year of the Villains or something like that.
Hella Rising.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and that book was, you couldn't get that book. It sold out. People were pissed off they couldn't get it. I got a couple of. I managed to get a couple of copies. I haven't even checked how is that book. I'm wondering. I gotta check how the book's doing now because I'm curious. Was it a good buy? Was it a bad buy? Was it a book that you need to sit on? It's one of those things. It's so funny. Yep, Hella Rising. It's so funny when it comes to some of these books that you buy, like, is for example the whole Negan Lives, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's you never know. It could be a book that could go up in price in the next, couple of years or months or whatever, or it could be a book that you paid cover price, and good thing you paid cover price. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? It's just the way of the way that comics work, I suppose, right?
yeah.
But
And I agree. There's actually an indie comic that I picked up. Is It's called Farmhand by Image, and I think that may be a TV show on AMC.
really,
And yeah, and I remember seeing that book, and the guy had like 10 copies, and I'm like, whoa! Now I look back, and I paid only $1 for it. I found another dollar
right?
then. So I got lucky. Maybe the show will be good. But yeah, it's a
Well,
fun read.
you know what I picked up when because the show was coming out is the Umbrella Academy. I
Okay.
picked up the number 1 because I guess they just announced season 2 of the Umbrella. Did you watch the Umbrella Academy at all?
I have not. I have not. I've been wanting to, but I just haven't got around to it.
I liked it. I think it's a good show. I mean, I don't know what everybody else thinks, but I personally think it was a good show. So it's one of those books that I bought because I was like, all right, it's gonna be on Netflix. Who knows? It could be a hot book. I'm gonna get it just in case. But I feel like a lot of the books, I'm the type that if I buy a book, I say to myself, yeah, I'll sell it, but I really won't because I have such a hard time letting go of certain things.
Yeah.
You know, like I just bought. And I don't know if I think I put a post up on my on my Instagram, and I did a YouTube video on the sideshow statue that I got, the Hulk versus Wolverine sideshow
Okay.
statue, which is massive. And then I also got the Hulk 180 and 181 CGC. Hulk 181 is a book that I've been wanting to get forever, and that book is just ridiculous to get. You know what I'm saying? And
Wow.
I think somebody asked me on Instagram, "Oh, are you gonna, how much?" And I wrote, "How much can I pay, or how much am I selling it for?" And they go, "Well, selling." And I said, I'm never selling this." And I think somebody else wrote me a comment saying, "Oh, you shouldn't say never, never settle. You should always upgrade." But see, for me, it's not. I don't care about the upgrading because they're like my personal book.
Right.
It's 9.6 is great, but do I need a 9.6? No, it's for me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Hey, I'm the same way. Like if I really want something, I could care less about the number, and I'll get it. Like this this one here. I had this comic book, and I gave it to my friend Danny that I was talking about earlier as a wedding gift. That was before I got back into comics. So this was back in 2008. I just wanted to be nice. Like, here's a comic book. So I gave him a raw copy of this.
Nice.
So yeah, this raw copy is in his living room in his house. So every time I see it, I get upset. So then Edwin was doing he was selling some books because he was trying to get his Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1.
Yeah.
So I said, Edwin, I want this book. So now I feel like I got my book back 9.4, and I don't care. It could have been an 8.0 or whatever, 0 or 0, but I just wanted this book.
Yeah, I hear ya. I mean, one of the books that I have, and where is it? It's right here, and I'll show it to you. And it's 1.5. So it's not a great grade at all. 1.5, but you're talking about Amazing Spider-Man 14, which is the first appearance of obviously the Green Goblin. So, but you know what? It's a book that it's a low grade, but low grade is better than no grade, right?
Hey, that's what I say, man.
And it's and especially when you're talking about books like that one when we talk about it's like Hulk 181. They're so expensive in the market right now. That I mean, for a lot of us, getting a low grade is the only way for us to afford getting any of those books. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that it's a bad thing at all, because I'm excited about, you know what? I wouldn't get rid of that one. Will I buy another one? Yeah, I'll buy another one, but I wouldn't get rid of it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes completely sense. It's like my Daredevil issue 1 and 2, low grades. I mean, issue 2 is complete. Like I mentioned, issue 1 is missing the back page or the back cover.
Right.
But regardless, I got Daredevil issue 1 and 2, and not often that you could run into someone that could say that. And I got them at a fantastic price. That when I did the show at that time, I told my wife the next day, I said, I need to buy these 2 books. And she goes, what now? And I said, let me show you on eBay. She goes, $500 for a copy. I will, no, wait a minute. No, not for one, but I'm going to get both of them at a greater price. And she just looks at me, and I'm just like, say yes. She goes, just do what you want. Need that purchase right away, man.
You gotta say it's an investment. It's an investment for the future. What up, Chris? Now, let me ask you, Rob, what do you got going on? What's your future plans coming up? What do you got going on in your channel that people should be looking out for?
Future, oh man. I have a video that I want to start doing, and I have to say thank you to Hialeah Comic Bro. He reached out to me and gave me an idea of looking back at all the channels that I shouted out from the very get-go and call it Where Are They Now? So he gave me that idea, and so I figured I make maybe a short video and see how many subscribers they had back then to where they are now, or even if they're still doing content. So I'm thinking about doing something like that. I just need to find the time to sit down and do it and make the edit video,
Yeah.
We talked about that.
That would be a good cool content for you to do. I mean, that's I think that's something that a lot of people would be interested in watching for sure.
Yeah. So that's running through the back of my head, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I need to start, just maybe take the laptop to work and just every now and then during my lunch break,
Yeah.
I got a week to do it, and I can probably drop it on a Saturday or something like that.
Yeah.
Or premiere. So that's something I want to bring to the channel. And man, I've been doing it for 70 weeks. I did the celebration yesterday.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of damn channels, man.
That is. Well, like I said, you've I think especially doing something like that, because you've helped out so many different channels, that I think that looking back at what you've where they were, where they are now, it's a really cool way to do kind of like I guess celebrate your milestones that you've had. What other hobbies do you have, Rod, besides collecting? What do you enjoy doing?
Big sports fan, man. I'm going crazy here. I need my sports back. Back before I was doing comics, I was into baseball cards, basketball cards. I got them all right behind here. Maybe one day I could display those. This whole room here is a Phillies room, but it's been taken over by comics. But I got the Philly banners whenever they won a World Series or won a pennant. And it's just everything's crazy here. Phillies, I love baseball.
Nice.
I mean, I love music. I was telling my buddy earlier today, Edwin. Man, people don't know, man. I was a salsa dancer, man. I was a salsa instructor. I taught my wife how to dance. She had 2 left feet. I was a DJ, man. I love doing all that stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, man.
That is good to know. See, we're learning a lot about you, man.
Yeah, dude.
We got Chris Sox. How about that? Chris, we talked about this a little earlier, and I was saying Rod hasn't read it yet. He's going to, but I did.
Hey, man, you can spoil it. Don't bother me.
No. I'm not gonna say anything about it. All I'm gonna say is that I liked it. I thought it was a good book. I thought it was a good story. So definitely read it. So if you bought it, then I think you'll be happy with it. So definitely do it. Well, that's no, Rod. I mean, that's like I said, salsa. I mean, that's great. Like I was a dance instructor too. I taught hip hop.
Oh crap! Okay.
For years. You know, one of my many different things besides, you know, my different hobbies. You know, my hobbies now, you know, is comic books. You know, I'm a big sports guy, so I like sports. And I buy my other things that I buy a lot of is I like to buy guns. I'm a big shooter. I like to go to the range. I like to shoot. That for me is what relaxes me. So, you know, they're all unfortunately they're all very expensive hobbies. You know, I wish I had a less expensive hobby, but hey, you do what you can with the cards you dealt with. You know,
that's it. My wife, she tells me all the time. She goes, I want to buy you something. I'm like, well, no, you know me already. Buy me whatever. But you're so damn expensive. I'm just like, well, it's not. I mean, I'm into gaming. You can buy me a PlayStation game, a Nintendo Switch game. She goes, that's another $50, $60.
Yeah.
Well, you give me the money and I go buy some comics. And she goes, yeah, you're so expensive.
You know, that reminds me of I was talking to TK and Mo. How are you feeling about the new Xbox and new PlayStation coming out?
Well, I'm not happy if it's going to be that expensive. I know you have a choice to download the games, or I'm not a fan of the download the games. I need the actual, I need the disc in my hand.
I agree. Now that's for the PlayStation. Now, are you a PlayStation guy or are you an Xbox guy?
PlayStation all the way. I just could never get into that Xbox controller, man. That thing would not fit my hand right. But yeah, now, PlayStation all the way.
I'm curious to see, and now I was telling those guys because I think we all agreed I'm probably gonna get both. I'll get the new Xbox and I'll get a new PlayStation, just because I want to see what both of them have to offer. I mean, it's not like, no, I'll put them in 2 different rooms and 2 different TVs. You know, that way I have my options. But I'm really curious to see what they're gonna come out with, because you're a gamer, right?
Yeah, man. I love gaming, dude. I would love to do some stuff online, but that's a story for a different day. But I've been playing that new Zelda game that dropped for the Nintendo Switch. Wasn't not now, but I'm stuck right now on a level. But it's so much fun to play.
I haven't checked that out. I need to check that one out. I've been meaning to check that out because I'm a big fan of Nintendo Switch myself, so I gotta check that game out. It's I tell you, like we were talking, editing the YouTube videos leaves me no time for anything else. I'm spending 6 hours editing a video that you guys watch in 18 minutes. You know, it's hilarious. But hey, guys, I know I don't want to keep Rod here too long. I know he is tired. He wants to go take a nap and have a beer. So I want to say, we're going to let you guys go. I want to say thank you for Rod. Thank you so much for coming to my channel and chatting with me. I know that, like I said, that you've mentioned me so much in the past with different things that I definitely wanted to have you on my channel and chat, because I think you have a lot of great things to say and things to share with the community. And to everybody watching and was watching, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Rod appreciates it. And we will see you guys next time. I'm sure Rob will have a video dropping in like 5 minutes or something. So you gotta next time you watch a video, go watch them. All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Rod, I'll talk to you in a second.
All right. Peace.